Good morning. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Transportation and Public Works Committee. This day, April 9th. I am chairing the committee, and I'm Councilmember Wright, joined by my colleagues, Councilmember Johnson, Palmisano, and Fletcher. We are a quorum, and I believe we'll be joined by our fellow colleagues shortly. But we will start with today's agenda, of which we have 10 items. 2 are public hearings. The remainder are consent. I will go through the consent items. Any committee member can pull them for further deliberation. I'll start with item 3, agreement with the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board for multi-use trail construction and maintenance on Industrial Boulevard from I-35W to Broadway Street Northeast. Item 4 is the gift acceptance from Green Minneapolis for revitalization of PV Plaza. Item 5 is the agreement with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway for water main crossing at their tracks. Item 6 is the contract amendment with Valley Paving Incorporated for 42nd Avenue North project, which goes from Xerxes Avenue North to Lyndale Avenue North. That's a street reconstruction project. 7 is the contract amendment with Global Specialty Contractors Incorporated for the PV Plaza construction project. 8 is the contract amendment with PCI Roads for Fridley Lift Station Improvements project. 9 is the temporary construction easement and permanent water main easement agreement with the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. 10 is the request for proposals for engineering services for the lime slaker replacement and storage upgrades. Does any committee member wish to pull an item? Seeing none, I will move all items as presented. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting name. Those carry. We now can go to the public hearing. Good morning, Director Hutchinson.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. We have 2 public hearings today, the first of which will be presented by Mike Kennedy of Transportation Maintenance and Repair on the Pennhurst Residential Street Resurfacing Project. This is for project approval and assessment. Mike.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Again, Mike Kennedy from Transportation Maintenance and Repair and Public Works. We're here this morning to talk about the Pennhurst resurfacing project. On January 18th, 2019, the City Council designated the location, streets, and improvements proposed to be made in the 2019 street resurfacing program. Pennhurst Residential is one of those and is bounded by 54th Street on the 54th Street West on the north, Irving Avenue South on the east, 58th on the south, and Penn Avenue on the west. These streets are all local city streets and were reconstructed in 1983. And have a current PCI, and there is an error here. It's not a PCI of 27, but a PCI of 66. Also included in this project is a portion of 56th Street west from Penn to Irving, which is MSA Street, also constructed in 1983. The project cost is about $1 million, of which about $756,000 are proposed to be assessed. The proposed street resurfacing program special assessments were determined by applying the 2019 uniform assessment rates of 66 cents per square foot for non-residential and 22 cents per square foot for residential properties. There will be some utility work that happens first by CenterPoint Energy, replacing some gas mains. Public Works hosted a community meeting on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. There were about 610 invitations mailed, and 5 to 10 folks showed up. And today is the formal public hearing. So our recommendation today is passage of a resolution ordering the work to proceed and adopting special assessments in the amount of $756,424.57 for this project, and passage of a resolution requesting the Board of Estimate and Taxation authorize the city's issuance and sale of assessment bonds in the aforesaid amount. That's our presentation. If we can take questions if there are any.
Thank you. Any questions per the presentation by staff? Seeing none, I will then open the public hearing. This is public hearing for item number 1. Anyone signed in? No one signed in. Anyone wish to come forward and give comment? Anyone wish to come forward and give comment? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Hi. Good morning. This is Mike DiGiorgio. I'm a resident in the area of this Pennhurst, this proposed Pennhurst resurfacing. And I was surprised to receive the notice that there would be an extra assessment to our taxes. I appreciate that there's been a lot of study that's gone into this, but we've lived in the area for 20 years, and I don't recall seeing any kind of assessment for roads or infrastructure in the time that we've lived there. And you know, I know that we're going to have an increase in taxes for next year, and then we're going to add to that I think another $1,000 for me. Now, I think that the idea of assessing residents for this kind of a project, when it's a known infrastructure project, it's a known entity like our roads are. There's a given lifespan of our roads. It's part of our physical infrastructure. I'm not clear why this would not be covered with our usual taxes. Now, for those individuals in the area that can afford it, then they have options to move out, because I believe our taxes are already quite high in the city of Minneapolis. But for those who can't afford it, they are essentially stuck with an additional fee above and beyond their taxes that are already going up next year. So I'm very concerned about the way this has been approached. Not only that, I think we were notified that this was going on formally in mid-March, and we're just approaching mid-April right now. The one hearing in our neighborhood was scheduled during spring break for our schools. So if there was not many people there at the hearing last week, it's because spring break was going on for our city schools. Now, I know that there's not a lot of people here that are expressing concern that I can see, but from talking with my friends and neighbors in our block, people are concerned about how this was approached, both from the costs that it would represent to us as taxpayers and residents, and also for the process that was used, because we've been given little notice, and we have, like to have a hearing when spring break is on for our city schools and people are possibly out of town, that pulls those people out of the ability to participate in the hearing and have kind of due course for what this is going to charge the residents in this small area of the city. So I'm concerned about this and would be happy to talk about it further. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you for your comments, and staff is available for further conversation. You bring up both the overall policy issue and then also the process issue. Thank you. Anyone else wish to come forward to make comment? Anyone else wish to come forward? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move approval. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Palmisano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to just recognize Mr. DeGiorgio's comments and point out that we normally do these public hearings as we get this road work going. We need to do it on a schedule that enables completion of as many projects as we possibly can get into a construction season. And I'm happy to talk to Mr. DeGiorgio offline further, as I'm his council member. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilmember Palmisano. Any other comment or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries, and we can now go to public hearing number 2. Director Hutchinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Our second public hearing is on the 2019 Concrete Streets Rehabilitation Program in the Wade Park neighborhood for project approval and assessment. Petra Vizzoli is an engineer with Transportation Engineering and Design and will be presenting information.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Chair and committee members, my name is Petra Vizzoli. I'm the project engineer with the Transport Engineering and Design Division. I'm here to present the public hearing for the 2019 Concrete Street Rehabilitation Project. The project is located in the Wade Park neighborhood. On February 15, 2019, the City Council designated the location, streets, and improvements proposed for this project. As you already know, this project is part of the larger Concrete Streets Rehabilitation Program that already started in 2017. Portion of the streets in this project are highlighted on the map that was attached to the RC letter, and also they are highlighted in red on the map on the screen. These concrete streets in the neighborhood are 52 years old. We believe that with this work that we will do, we'll extend the useful life for these streets by by approximately 15 years, and will improve the ride quality in the neighborhood. The repair work of the concrete streets primarily consists of replacing the distressed and deteriorated concrete with new sound structural concrete. Other improvements that we'll perform during this project consist in upgrades of the select pedestrian ramps and diamond grinding resurfacing for the entire project for the surface of the pavement. Diamond grinding will improve the overall ride quality. It will increase the skid resistance, will decrease the noise, will provide a uniform appearance of the roadway, and overall will make the streets safer for to drive. Private and city utilities, they will have the opportunity during this project to make improvement to their facilities. This work will be performed before and concurrent with the project, with the rehabilitation work. The current construction estimates to rehabilitate the streets within the project limits will be $5.5 million. The proposed 2019 funding includes $3,825,000 in net debt bonds and $1,103,610 in assessment bonds. The rates that were used, the assessment rates that were used for this project are the 2019 resurfacing assessment rates. The rates are 66 cents per square foot for a non-residential property and 22 cents per square foot for a residential property. Public Works had 2 meetings before this public hearing in the neighborhood. One open house public meeting was held on February 27, 2019, and one pre-assessment meeting was held last week on April 4th. Today we are recommending the passage of resolution ordering the work to proceed and adopting special assessments in the amount of $1,103,608.36 for the 2019 concrete streets rehabilitation Wade Park neighborhood project, and the passage of resolution requesting the Board of Estimate and Taxation authorize the city's issuance and sale of assessment bonds in the amount of $1,103,610 for the 2019 concrete street rehabilitation Wade Park neighborhood project. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions per the staff presentation? Seeing none, I will then open the public hearing. This is public hearing number 2. Anyone signed in? No one has signed in. Anyone wish to come forward? Anyone wish to come forward and give comment? Seeing none, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Gammada Orgesa. I live on 1730 Hollywood Avenue Northeast. The reason I came forward is I was assessed about $1,700 for this project, and this is not something which I can afford. I've retired and I'm on fixed income, so I just came to express that. The other thing is also, I lived in this area for about 25 years. During this time, my property taxes increased threefold. I'm paying almost 3 times what I started with, and I really don't understand why all these taxes we are paying, which is the highest tax in the area, why this cannot cover this project. The other thing is also, this meeting, for example, is held at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., most people are at work, so there are so many people who would like to express their view on this, but they should be at work to pay the other taxes. So this is not even well planned, I guess, to involve as many people as possible. So I just came here to say this is not something which I can afford. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Anyone else wish to come forward, make comment? Anyone else wish to come forward? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I think this gentleman, in addition to the previous commentary, we do have to be mindful of the cumulative effect of the fees and taxes that we have to charge. I think that's a very good point, and we should always be mindful of that. And in terms of the process, I believe in the presentation, the project manager had suggested there was 2 meetings that the department had sponsored, And I know for a fact the neighborhood at least had one as well in the evening. But then again, I can't speak to their notification process. But fair notification and good timing, I think, is also something we should be mindful of. Perhaps we were in this case. But the gentleman suggests we should always be mindful. So with that, and I also note that there's been also comments submitted for people who weren't here. I believe they went to the proper source. I think they went to Peggy, at least one of them did. And I think one of the things that I would highlight in the comment in the letter is the notion that my street panels are really great. Why am I being charged? And I think that's something that we have to continue communicating to the public, that this rehabilitation for concrete is a new program, and it's really not about the panels. As a matter of fact, well, it is all about the panels. A lot of them are really good, but it's the crease of the panel. It's the little dip that might you not even notice by the gutter. That might be a small thing now, but that will be the big thing in 5 to 10 years that we're trying to avoid, and maybe get another half century out of this roadway, if we're lucky. Not that we'll ever know. We won't be around. But anyways, it's doing good work, and I think that diamond grinding thing really proves the point. It's a universal treatment. Everyone gets that smooth, perfect, safe surface when you do a rehabilitation project such as this. But again, that's education on our part, I think, to get that out. Any further commentary? With seeing none, I will move it as submitted. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries, and I believe we are done with our business, and we are adjourned.